just like a 401k. And most individuals hang on to a home anywhere from 7 to 10 years. And there's a good chance that a home purchase in today's market will yield a happy return in the near future. If you're like most Americans, you're probably freaking out wondering what's going on with your 401k. I'm sure it's made some shifts in the last 30 to 45 days. And you're probably wondering, is this a time to pull that money out? What was it really intended for as far as buying a house, and is this still a good time to do so? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use your 401k to buy the home of your dreams. If you're new to the channel, we talk about everything that's real estate related, how to build wealth while eliminating debt, and home buying strategies such as this one. So consider subscribing and whacking that notification bell. This way you can be up to date what's going on in the market every single week.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Now, a couple things, right? You can Google and YouTube a bunch of different tips on how to use your 401k when it comes to real estate investment and how to buy a house, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. You'll find tons of videos about that. This is not going to be one of those videos. First of all, I'm not an accountant, but second of all, it's your money.
It's my money and I need it now.
And I am a loan advisor, and from a loan originator's perspective, I'm going to be able to show you what exactly a lender or at least a financial institution is going to be looking for when you decide to use your 401k towards buying the home of your dreams. So tip number one, most people don't know this, but your 401k can be used not only for your down payment, but it could also be for a down payment plus closing costs. It's super important for you to identify what is going to be your range when it comes to both of these components combined. Because if you're going to need all those funds for down payment plus closing costs, then you want to be better prepared for this and possibly maybe even overshoot. This way you have enough secured and you don't run into any snags or delays as far as, oh, I didn't pull enough, or oops, someone didn't tell me how much cash I truly was going to need at the time of closing. Until you actually get under contract for the home of your dreams, every variable is going to be different, such as homeowners insurance, property taxes, any HOA dues at the time of closing, if there's flood insurance. There's a bunch of different moving parts. So if you are pulling funds from a 401k, it's super important to identify that and know that you can use it toward your down payment plus closing costs. Tip number two, identify what kind of 401k plan that you have. There are 7 different types of 401k plans that are out there, and some of the more common ones are the standard plans, some of the self-directed 401k plans, and there's even tiered share profit planning type of 401ks. That being said, all of them have different policies and even procedures when it comes to withdrawals. And putting in short, some of them have different penalties that you have to identify. Are you truly going to be able to withdraw all those funds? And some of them may not even allow you to pull as much as you like, despite the fact that you're using it for a home purchase. I hear this a lot where there are some 401k companies, or at least financial institutions, that allow you to pull as much as you need in order to buy a home without having any type of penalties. Where if you needed to pull your 401k for something that's outside of home purchase, maybe for a personal investment or maybe a small emergency, they may charge a penalty for that. So it's super important for you to identify that up front instead of maybe just looking at how much you have in your 401k and being under the impression that, oh, I can just use this to buy a house, no problem. There are going to be certain steps that you want to take. This way, again, you don't run into any snags or any delays when it comes to not only buying your home, but when it comes to the point of closing on the home of your dreams. And tip number 3, have your statements readily available. And what I mean by that is, before you're getting under contract, you're going to need to be pre-approved for set amount in order to buy the home of your dreams. You don't need to pull all your cash out of your 401k. In fact, you don't have to pull any of it out in order to be pre-approved. What you do want to provide to a loan originator or at least a financial institution that's reviewing your assets and income is your financial statement for that 401k. They're either monthly or quarterly. If they are quarterly, you want to provide the most up-to-date quarterly statement. This way, a loan originator knows exactly where you're going to be pulling the funds from, and it makes it easier to start the paper trail when we're trying to verify assets. Tip number 4, if you're pulling out from your 401k and there's a loan associated with it, most would think this is going to impact your debt to income ratio. And there's actually good news with that. If you are borrowing against your 401k and there's a loan for it, there's monthly payments that are associated with it. As a financial institution, they're not going to count those debts against you. So in other words, you're going to be in the safe in order to borrow against your 401k if there is some type of repayment plan that's associated with withdrawing or anything of that nature. Now, I understand there may be a small decline in activity when it comes to home buying. That's not to negate that it's still not an awesome opportunity to move it into an appreciating asset such as real estate, as we are in a very strong market in comparison to what we had in 08, 09, 2010 market crisis. Our market is still strong, so this is a good opportunity for an individual to buy while the market has a high demand, and ultimately home prices would be a little bit cheaper compared to if we didn't have this whole pandemic going on right now. As some of the data provides, our housing prices were still climbing, and they still are. The point being is that they slow down, and that could provide an amazing opportunity for a first-time home buyer or even someone that was looking to downsize or upgrade into the home of their dreams at a lower cost. And as I mentioned before, transferring your 401k assets into real estate is another way for you to build wealth for longevity. We got to remember, a home purchase is a long-term investment, just like a 401k. And most individuals hang on to a home anywhere from 7 to 10 years. And there's a good chance that a home purchase in today's market will yield a happy return in the near future. I'm Michael St.Claire, and feel free to reach out to me with any of your home buying questions.